was here the other day and said it was sure great to be here in Iowa. I'm glad to be here in Columbus, Ohio, and appreciate your welcome. Thank you. And thank you. Now look at that sign over there. You see that sign? That's quite some sign. And that's the job we got to do. We got to make sure we win here in Ohio, and when we do, we're going to take back the White House. Now, thanks to John and to Worthington Industries for letting us participate here and be here with them, and thanks for all the guys that work here at Worthington Steel. Appreciate your welcome and the tour that we just got. An impressive place here. I've had a couple of very interesting weeks over the last little while. I don't know whether you've noticed there were some debates we had, and the debates have been a great opportunity for me, and I think for America to get to know us a little better. Those debates have helped propel my campaign, and they've slowed down the president's, and those are good things from my standpoint. But I'm happy today to be here with people who've watched the debates and have helped me time and time again. Senator Portman, what a great friend, what a great senator you have here in the state of Ohio. And thanks also to Mary Taylor for being here, your Lieutenant Governor. She's been working for me all over the state, and I appreciate her help. And I want to make sure that Congressman T. Berry also knows of our support. Where's the Congressman? He's around here somewhere. Over here, this side. There he is. Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate your help. Got to get you reelected. Now, John McConnell, you opened up your doors here at Worthington, and I appreciate you doing that, and appreciate the fact that you're able to employ some 10,000 people in this country. We want more good jobs with high pay is what this is all about. Now, the president has a different agenda. Instead of an agenda about big things like good jobs and take-home pay, he has an agenda about smaller and smaller and smaller things. He wants to talk about protecting characters on Sesame Street and then word games, silly word games, and of course he spends a lot of time attacking me. Attacking me is not an agenda for America's future, and that's why his campaign is having a hard time. In all these debates, now 4 debates, including the vice presidential debate, they have not been able to define an agenda to get this economy going, to defend an agenda. In fact, the president's out of ideas, and he's out of excuses, and that's why in November you're going to make sure and vote him out of office. Because this is a defining election. This is a big choice election. This will make a difference for not only the country, but for your family. The choice you make will have a big impact on how America's families live. If you're a senior, for instance, or if you're caring for a senior in your family, and that senior needs a medical specialist, and you pick up the phone and you call the receptionist at a doctor's office, you're going to be told in time after time, I'm sorry, we're not taking more Medicare patients. Because after Obamacare and the cuts in reimbursement rates, $716 billion in cuts to Medicare, we're not taking new Medicare patients. Half of America's doctors are saying they won't take new Medicare patients. That's what happens if we re-elect President Obama. If instead, when we elect me President of the United States, we're going to get rid of Obamacare and restore our promise to our seniors. You want to get an appointment with. And then, let's say you're in your 40s, your 50s, and they're your prime working years, and you've been expected to put away some extra money, perhaps for your retirement, or perhaps to help your child with school, and yet somehow this job market hasn't been very kind to you. I was speaking with a man from Waukesha, Wisconsin, just the other day. And he told me that he had a job at $25 an hour plus benefits. But now he doesn't have that job anymore. All he can get is one with $9 and no benefits. And he's wondering how to make ends meet. The president doesn't have a plan to get America working again. We have a 5-point plan I'll tell you about in a moment that's going to get more jobs and more take-home pay. And that's what America needs, and that's why we're going to get elected. A college senior or a high school senior graduated this year, and if they're coming out of, I got a few of them here. If you're coming out of college, why I got some good news and some bad news. The bad news, all that education is over. Excuse me, that's the good news, all right? And the bad news is you probably got, well, maybe 10,000 or 20,000 or more in student debt. And you're going to be paying interest on that and paying it off over a long period of time. But there's more bad news. And that is, while you've been living your life and going to school, my generation has been spending much more than we've been taking in at the government level. And so you're going to get hit with about $50,000, that's per average man, woman, and child in America, of government debt. And that means every time you get a paycheck with your new job and you see that deduction for taxes, you're going to know that a lot of that money is going to pay interest on the debt we've accumulated. And the president's plan, just keep on spending more than we take in, $1 trillion more a year. This is putting a burden on you and will crush the American dream if he's reelected. And that's why Paul Ryan and I have a plan to get America on track to cut spending, to cap federal spending, and finally get us on track to a balanced budget. And if you got kids in school, this election is a big election for you. Because if you've got kids in school, you may decide that they're not getting the skills you think they need for the jobs of tomorrow, and so you might look around and find a charter school you think might be better for them. Or perhaps another public school where you think you got a better opportunity there, and you're going to find out that in a lot of states across this country you can't take your kids out of the school they're in because the money's just not there for you. The money doesn't follow the student, it instead stays at the school. Well, I'm going to change that. I want to make sure that your kids have the choice that you'd like them to have, and make sure the federal dollars follows the child to the school of your choice. This is an election about big things, because the American people can't afford 4 more years like the last 4 years. That's why we're going to see big change in November. Change that's going to bring a new hope and new opportunity to the American people. Now, I know there's a big difference between the course we're on and the course I'd take us in. The course we're on takes us to $20 trillion in federal debt. I'm going to get us on a course to a balanced budget. The course we're on cuts Medicare $716 billion for current retirees. I'll get us on a course that puts that money back and honors the promise to our retirees. The current course that we're on is going to see higher and higher gasoline and energy prices, because the president has said, when he was a candidate 4 years ago, that under his policies, the cost of energy would skyrocket. Under my policies, we're going to get America and North American energy independence and get the cost of energy down. If the president's reelected, why, you're going to see home values continue to bump along the bottom in state after state. I'm going to go to work to make sure we get this economy going with good jobs again, so people can afford homes, and we can finally get the values of homes rising again, and people can have confidence that there's equity in their home, and they'll have a good retirement, in part because of what's been saved in their home. This is a critical time for us, folks. We're going to have to make a decision about what kind of course we have, because when it comes to the economy and jobs, the president's agenda is more of the same. He wants to continue doing what's been done over the last 4 years. He calls that going forward. I call it forewarned. We've seen the last 4 years. We don't want 4 more years like that. He wants another stimulus. Yeah, that last one didn't work out so well. He wants to hire more government workers and wants to raise taxes. That will not create private sector jobs. I have a 5-point plan, and I'm talking about it all over the country. It'll create 12 million new jobs in America and create higher take-home pay. And here's what the plan is. Number 1, take full advantage of our oil, our coal, our gas, our nuclear, and our renewables. And North American energy independence. Take advantage of trade. Look, we can compete with any nation in the world so long as we're playing on a level playing field, and I'm going to make sure China doesn't cheat. We're on a level playing field, and we will win. We're going to make sure our workers have the skills they need to succeed. You know, there are 47 different federal workforce training programs. They report to 8 different agencies, and can you imagine all the overhead and waste associated with that? I want to take those dollars give Ohio its fair share and let Ohio create the training programs for its own people in the way they think is best. And for our schools, I want to put our kids first, our teachers first, our parents first, and the teachers union, their interest is going to have to go behind. We got to put our kids ahead. And finally, my fifth plan is this. I want to champion small business. I want to make it easier for small businesses to grow and thrive. That means I want to keep the taxes down on business. I want our tax rates to be competitive with other nations. I want regulators to see their job as encouraging business,